Okay. All right, we're back. All right, sorry about that, guys. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. I had no drop frames. I have no idea what the fuck's going on. So I know it was it was a little confusing, and Tony Khan just kept talking about the Continental Classic like 8 times during the fucking scrum. So that didn't help because he said the same shit over and over and over every time he started talking about it and running it down for everybody. What do you think about the three points for a win, 1 point for a loss thing?
I think it kind of takes away some of the drama of draws, so I don't know how much I like that. His reasoning behind it is very sports based, as far as like, oh, you'll want to fight more for the win, but I mean, it's being booked. So if you want to book more drama, I feel like you leave it as 2-1, because it does leave more room
with no interference allowed or whatever.
Yeah, and it's got to have a time limit, right? Because there's all going to be a lot of them are going to be TV.
If you have a draw, it has to be a time limit. That's one of the major
count
ways
out or something. Double count out.
It's one of the major ways. Time limit draw is one of the major ways for a draw.
But yeah, I think doing the 3 points thing actually takes away some of the drama because it's such a big gap. So I understand
the way he was talking about, like, it's not like, oh, double count out because, hey, I'm going to stop you so I can run in the ring faster so I can get the 3 points. That's not what he's talking about. He's talking about, hey, I need to beat you as fast as I can because I want these 3 points. I'm not going to be dicking around and let it go to a draw. I think that's what he was implying. But yeah, I 15 minutes probably. It's going to be the time limit. What is it in G1? Do you know?
Is it 30? I feel like there's been some pretty long G1 matches.
Yeah, that's true. There has been long G1 matches.
Probably 30.
That's weird. I feel like there's a lot of draws though too. There's that many 30-minute matches in it.
I mean,
you could be right. Long. All right, let's talk about Darby Sting and Adam Copeland getting the dub over the Patriarchy.
Kind of knew that was going to happen.
I mean, obviously that was the easiest one. Besides,
I do like one. I like that they didn't have Edge or Adam Copeland and Christian touch at all. I feel like that saves that for something else, which is good. Builds up a lot of tension or whatever. I thought the ending was pretty funny. Just Christian fucking runs away.
Yeah, Christian. Not only did Christian leave his buddies out to dry, but he also hit Luchasaurus with the title.
Oh, so he went to go get some milk. He'll be back.
So do you think that this is leaning towards what Edge was saying was going to happen to Christian, that they're going to leave you or whatever, but it technically would be Christian's fault because he's the one that's fucking around?
I mean, maybe, but that's kind of a shit way to end the thing. Unless the next match right after this is now he has nobody to protect him anymore because they give up on him or whatever. And
I don't think it'll happen anytime soon. I just think they were planting the seeds, though. Type deal.
Yeah,
I think at World's End's got to be Adam Copeland versus Christian now, right? Because you literally had to not touch for a reason.
Yeah, I probably. And I doubt either one of them are in the Continental. Old motherfuckers can't handle that. I think not having them.
Well, you wanted Jeff Jarrett in it though.
That's different. He's timeless.
Oh my god, no, that's Tony Starr.
That's both of them. They're both actors. He was in
Jeff Jarrett should have been Tony Storm's Luther.
Jeff Jarrett was in Spring Breakers as a youth minister. I don't know why I know that. Yeah, I thought that not having them touch it all was good. I think the building of tension to that was good. It's definitely a little bit early to have Nick Wayne break off of Christian. It's probably not too early to have Luchasaurus break off. I don't know what they do with Jungle Boy when he gets back, but hopefully something useful.
You didn't hear maybe they do like devil, bro. You didn't hear that?
I've heard that, but I don't think his hair would fit all up underneath that fucking hood without.
I already told you this is not anyone that's actually been under the mask yet, dude.
No, you didn't read. You should have read the fucking Fightful report because yes, it is. The report is direct from them. Is that it is the people who are going to be the character that are currently under all the fucking clothes and stuff. Because there was a concern about continuity.
I'll believe that.
It ain't no fucking devil. It ain't no T-bar situation.
Yeah, I disagree. We'll see. I think you've been getting fed that too, though.
Here's the thing, though. You notice there was no devil segment when Adam Cole was out by the ring.
Yes, I noticed that. And he's also skinny enough to wear the mask as well.
Yeah.
But it doesn't help your man bun hair fitting under the thing situation.
The fuck is Hold on. I
Did you like the? I mean, they pretty
his
much did the
hair's too
punk.
thick.
They pretty much did the punk thing with the thing where they came out with the face paint or whatever
Oh yeah.
for this
I mean,
match. But I did like
he's
the
just being
matching
replaced.
trench coats. That was a nice little added touch, though.
Yeah, I thought Edge's or goddamn, why do I keep calling him Edge? I thought Adam Copeland's. He just needs a shorter name, bro. Just Copeland. I don't know. We got to get him a one syllable name because I don't want to say Adam Copeland every time. It sucks.
And you can't just say Adam because there's too many.
Yeah, it's like Adam. I just call him Cope.
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 For the WWE fans out there. Cope.
Cope that he signed. I liked his face paint. I thought it looked cool. I thought Darby took some nasty fucking bumps in that match.
Well, this
But
could
he
be
always
Darby's
does.
last match. I told you this already. Might as well go all out, man. Might as well go all out. And they even mentioned the Mount Everest thing on commentary. So yeah, like
Jesus, that one
might
bump
not,
he
that
took.
might have been his last match too. You talking about Sting's last match in California? That might have been Darby's last match ever. You know, we don't know what the fuck's gonna happen at Mount Everest.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, people do die there. I imagine with him though.
Just that people do die. Like it was only like 3 or 4 of them. No, a lot of people die
I mean, people.
at Mount
No.
Everest.
A lot of people die. I think with him though, I think he's got enough. He does. He does reckless shit, but I don't think he's ever gonna be like at the point where he'll push it too far. If that makes sense. Like I feel like if he gets like a third of the way up and he's like, fuck it, I don't know, he'll probably go back down. He's got a lot to live for. So I don't think he's gonna die or anything. We'll see. Most of the people that die lately aren't dying for the reasons that they used to die. Like Sherpas used to die, or people used to die with Sherpas on the way up, and Sherpas used to die too, and stuff like that. Now it's normally like if something super unexpected happens, like there's a fucking log jam up at the top of people and people can't fucking move. That sucks. That would piss me the fuck off. I would just be like, get the fuck out of my way and roll down. I'm built different though, and there's stuff like random avalanches and shit. So yeah, we'll see. I'm sure I'll be alright. A lot of people do it successfully every year too, so that's what it is. But no, some of the bumps he took were fucking nasty, dude. But the thing is too, that match was so. I thought Nick Wayne was going to take the pin. I'm actually kind of glad that they had Luchasaurus take it instead. But as far as like who's going to win and all that shit, it was pretty predictable booking. And then you could tell that they were going to tease the Edge and Hope and Christian even touching each other and stuff. So I mean, it's fine.
All right, let's move on. We got 2 more matches that we haven't talked anything about that we need to talk about. That's OC defeating Moxley, like we both picked. And then of course Tony Storm becoming the new AEW World Women's Champion by beating Cheetah. So now they're both the only 3-time women's champions. We'll start with Orange Cassidy. Obviously, he got the win that he needed, or that we thought he needed at
before, yeah.
Wrestle Dream. Yeah,
is that when they're
no All Out? It was All Out because they were the main event at All Out because Punk wasn't there.
Oh, yeah, true.
So Punk versus Ricky Starks didn't happen or whatever. Yeah, so he didn't get the win there, and we thought that would solidify his run.
Right.
And then a lot of chicanery happened because of injuries and stuff. Cassidy gets it back, and like his first defense is against the big bad that he couldn't defeat before that ended his run. So I think this actually helps him. Actually, if you think about it, kayfabe wise, you could always pin, and he kind of looks protected now in that first match at All Out because he was so beat up from all the challenges and stuff.
Yeah.
And now you get a healthy Jon Moxley and a healthy Orange Cassidy, and Orange Cassidy won. So it's almost like Orange Cassidy would have beat you if he would have had any time to actually heal up that first time. And I think it feels like it legitimizes his first run even more.
Well, that, and you notice how head focused a lot of Cassidy's offense was too. It was playing up the Moxley concussion thing. That was a pretty big part of it too. He was clearly like working the head. So it kind of helped both of them save some credibility, I guess. But I still feel like it's like the Cody thing. Like if Cody would have won at WrestleMania, then everybody would be like, all right, cool. Like that's probably how that story should have gone. We can continue from there. And same thing with Cassidy. Like they didn't give him the win when they probably should have. So now the story feels a little bit jilted. But it seems like they've pulled it back the best that they can, I guess. So I'm good with it. I mean, we both picked him. We both thought he should have won here. The question is just like, how much does it fuck with his his legacy of his previous streak or whatever. And I get the story of him being so worn down and then losing to Moxley or whatever, but I still think the better story would have been being so worn down, still beating Moxley, and then losing it because
Here's my
Moxley
question
fucked him
for
up
you.
so
Check
bad.
this out. Look, listen to this question here. So the whole thing in the last one was he beat everybody. Every time they wanted to, anybody wanted a shot, he'd just throw 3-4 people in there. He don't care. Right on the spot. Rampage, Dynamite, Collision didn't matter. And then the big bad he couldn't beat. Now he's starting off this reign by beating the big bad. So how long is he gonna have it fucking this time before somebody is able to take it off him? That like who's going to beat him? He's almost in like a Brock Lesnar situation. Like who the fuck's gonna beat this guy? Because he literally already started out with the one dude that he couldn't beat and beat him. So who the fuck's gonna take it off of him? It's gonna be crazy. All right, and what do you think about Toni Storm's win against Sheeta? We said it.
Oh, you don't want to talk about Pac?
I don't know why people thought that she doesn't need the title because of her character. Yes, she does, and now she has it, and they explained to you exactly why. Actually, at the beginning of that, and shout out to who was it? Shout out to one of the announcers who actually mentioned Joan Crawford by name, which I've used many times on the show to describe what her character is basically. I forgot who the hell it was.
You know, I like the pairing of Luther with her. I think it works.
No, I do too. I was just making a joke about the Jeff Jarrett thing.
No, I understand. But no, I mean, I've seen some people say like, "Oh, why is Luther still around?" Like whatever. Well, Luther's
I'm pretty sure he's a producer backstage or something, like an agent or something like that.
Yeah,
like
they
that
don't
too,
just use him on screen shit. But yeah, I mean, he's been doing pretty good in this role too. I also like that the finish kind of protected Sheeta a little bit, but I also thought the 10 thing was a little bit. It doesn't seem like it'd be hard enough or be a big enough deal to be hit with that and lose the match. You know what I mean? But it's what it is.
Well, I mean, her ass corner shot thing, whatever the hip attack, or whatever the fuck they call it. That's already one of her main moves anyway, and she has won many times with that. So adding something else extra on that just puts it away after one shot instead of having to do it multiple times and like making the finisher look weak. Because I believe she hit her with it last time and Sheeta kicked out. So in that respect, it does make sense. I think it just looked weird because it was falling out of her fucking tights.
Yeah,
that's why it looked weird. She had to adjust it a few times just before she even hit the fucking thing. Yeah. And then, of course, it didn't want to come out after that.
Well, the weird thing was it looked like Luther dropped her fucking shoe down her pants at first, and I was like, "What the fuck is he doing?" But no, it was the other thing.
But I'm happy to see it. I saw the little backstage thing where she was going across the Kia Forum, and all the names were that were on the wall that had performed there, headline there or whatever, and she was that shit was funny as fuck, dude.
And the letter that she wrote to
Storm
Tony
up here. We're gonna need a lot of room, all that kind of shit. That was funny. So she's clearly still in the character. The note to Tony Khan at the scrum was hilarious.
Aeroplane.
Give Ted my best was fucking. I laughed out loud at that one. Give Ted my best. That was funny as fuck.
Yeah.
Turner Broadcasting Station. Give Ted my best. But yeah, it's really good. And what people don't understand is she'll have it for a while. You'll kind of get tired of it probably, but then whenever she loses it, probably to hate her, it's gonna get even crazier. Like I said, like she's just gonna lose her mind even more, which is gonna be great. There's levels to this character. There's depth to this character. That's what makes it good. And pardon my pun, timeless. Basically. The other thing is, I still stand by what I said though. I still think it should have been Saraya dropping the title to Toni Storm at Full Gear instead of having Sheeta have another short reign for no fucking reason other than to drop it to Tony when Tony and the Outcasts were already having issues and the storyline was already built in. You could have even played up the new storyline with Ruby Soho and Cool Hand Ange by having Ruby Soho being distracted by Cool Hand Ange on the outside when she was supposed to help Saraya, and then Saraya turns around and then Toni Storm hits her with something and then does the same type of deal in the corner and does her moves or whatever. Like, and then you could play up the dissension between Saraya and Ruby Soho going forward with the storyline that they're currently involved in with Daddy Magic and Cool Hand Ange. Like, that would have made perfect sense to me, but you just got Sheeta just inserted in there just to have another short title run, which does her no favors, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think it helps Sheeta a little bit because now she can say that she's 3-time champion though, so she's still tied for highest number of championships. So that's always a thing too. Like, it's not, it's not like this run was anything crazy or anything, but Being able to say, yeah, I was a 3-time.
The last 2 runs haven't been. Even though her last run, she had it for only a few weeks and then dropped it to Saraya at All In.
Yeah, which was also fucking dumb. But whatever. Yeah. I feel like there's one we haven't talked about. What is it?
Yeah, no, that was it. We did the main event. We did Tony Storm, Orange Cassidy, Hangman. Oh, the 4-way ladder match. We can talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we didn't really get into that one. Besides the dumb FTR spot that didn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, there were some crazy fucking bumps in that match.
Oh,
that
crazy for sure. The Brody King like pile driver thing on there when he fell down and they had to set the ladder back up because I guess that wasn't supposed to happen, or the ladder was supposed to stay, I guess. Maybe they were just supposed to bounce off. I don't fucking know. Or Brody King wasn't supposed to bounce off. Only the person he did the move to. I can't remember who it was.
It seemed like
he was supposed to stay on there because he laid back up there. Yeah. Cash losing his balance but recovering nicely. Watching the replay, I almost feel like he did it on purpose.
Yeah, I don't know if that was like I'm selling that I'm not normally a high flyer.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Thing.
When they showed that at first the live one, I was like, oh, he almost fucked up. But when they showed it again, I was like, that kind of looked like he did that on purpose.
It's a little cartoony, a little exaggerated. But yeah, no, that spot pissed me off because afterwards Dax is just standing in the fucking ring for like 30 seconds, not climbing the ladder. I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, you got all the time in the world. What are you doing?
Realistico showed out. Bruce showed out. Yeah, they both showed out in that match.
And it's funny because we're talking about everybody except for the guys who won, but I mean, Big Bill has some crazy fucking did some stuff in that match too. I don't know that it took away from the whole match for me, but that the shit with Dax, it was just like so. It's one of those things where something in wrestling makes so little sense that their character isn't doing it that it just like kind of took me out of it. I'm like, everybody's fucked up on the outside, and you're just like walking around the fucking like, what are you doing, man?
Yeah, it was weird because like I could understand it if somebody got in the ring like 5-10 seconds later because you're like, oh, you were never gonna have a shot anyway. You were just waiting for him to come in. But to be in the ring for that long with 2 ladders that were set up and you knocked them down.
And it might not have been his fault. He might have been waiting on somebody else to hit their.
Yeah, it could have been somebody late on a spot. Yeah, for sure. But it just did not come off optic wise.
Yeah, so I'm not blaming him specifically. It could have been anybody. But
I mean, hey, what do they say? Baby faces in wrestling are dumb. So
yeah. So now the tag title shot though is Big Bill and Starks versus Golden Jets.
Correct.
That's something.
And I do believe the Golden Jets will win it. Now the question remains whether that will take place if they're going to wait till World's End, which I believe they will. Because now with a seemingly monthly pay-per-view program in place, they'll probably skip January, but for the most part, like towards this last half of the year, it's a every month situation, which means we won't see as many of those big blow-off matches on Dynamites and Collisions as far as title matches go. We'll still see some title matches every now and then, but like title matches where you have a shot at actually changing hands, titles changing hands, I don't think we're going to see that as often. So that kind of sucks. But I felt like that was one of the things that like, oh, you got to watch AEW every week because if they announce a fucking title match, you'd have no idea. There was a lot of people that didn't think Shida was going to beat Shida was going to beat Saraya on that fucking Dynamite or Collision or whatever it was, and she ended up winning. Like, it was insane. I was like, oh shit, okay. So I mean, it's whatever, dude. What do you give? What do you give the entire pay-per-view though? We grade pay-per-views all the time on here. Clearly, it was solid from an in-ring action standpoint, from top to bottom. It was literally. I feel like the in-ring action aspect of it was a B+ to an A+ the whole way. But then when you start factoring in storylines not making sense, spots not making sense, it does clearly take away from the pay-per-view as a whole once you rewatch it. So with your assessment of the Brian Cage coming in and losing something, the FTR spot, the Samoa Joe, MJF, Adam Cole thing not really making any sense when it comes down to the end of the pay-per-view, how much does that actually take away from the overall pay-per-view grade for you?
Like if it was on a 10-point scale, it'd be like 1 point off. So it's enough.
So a plus to a regular grade, like an A+ to an A type deal.
Like and it's probably what I would give it. I would give it like an A. Um, the other thing we didn't really talk about or get into is Jay White. Jay White pre-injures MJF. Has MJF come out, wrestle injured, is basically on one leg the whole fucking match, and still loses. Now, granted, he lost to being hit with objects, but it's kind of the same as the Seth Cody thing for me, where somebody's got a clear injury and you still end up fucking losing somehow. It doesn't make you look good at all.
No, it does. I mean, well, he's not buried. I don't know what the fuck.
No,
people
I wouldn't
online
say
are saying
that.
things. I know you're not saying that, but that's been a discourse on there. I'm like, what the fuck? No one, definitely not on this show, and no one that's actually been paying attention and watches the product thought Jay White was going to lose or win that match, right? There's no way.
Right.
But there is a better way for him to lose that match. Like, for instance, based off what we actually got on the pay-per-view, when you said, hey, Adam Cole, why the fuck didn't you hit him with something? That would have made sense. If Adam Cole hit him with the crutch, he turns around and gets clocked with the fucking diamond ring, and that's how he loses. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
If we take that scenario out altogether and you have Samoa Joe come in and defend the title for MJF and he wins in a straight up match because it surprises Jay White and now he's got to go against like a pretty much healthy Samoa Joe and already warmed up Samoa Joe, if we're being real, because he had the tag team match, and he loses Samoa Joe, that makes sense. I'm okay with that. But I agree with you. The way that they did it, because of how long the match was, and this man is on one leg the entire time, it definitely gave off Cody Rhodes' torn pec in a Hell in a Cell, still beating Seth Rollins vibes. Doesn't make any sense. It didn't make any sense at the Hell in a Cell match. Seth Rollins should have won, especially when you knew Cody was on his way out. And it didn't make sense here. Even though we knew MJF was going to win, there should have been a better way to book Jay White taking the pin, because Jay White is known as a wrestler who always kicks out. So how the hell did he lose to one-legged MJF with like virtually nothing else going on?
That's the thing to me. It's like, why would you do the injury spot you do the injury spot when you're trying to make somebody lose and still have like credibility afterward because they got fucked up before the match or whatever. You can do it as the heroic babyface spot, but I don't think you do that against Jay White. I think they should have just never done the fucking injury spot. Just completely forego that. You don't need the tease about it being Adam Cole at the end or any of that bullshit.
I'm okay with him doing the injury spot, but you could have done the injury spot in this match. So you could have had him getting taken out, him coming out regularly, right? Like, no, I'm still wrestling, I'm good. Come out regularly, and then Jay White goes to work on his leg, and that's when they do like the Mankind Hell in a Cell, where they're trying to like, dude, you got to get the fuck out of here. And then he stops halfway up the rim, like, nah, I'm fucking going back in. Adam Cole's trying to stop him because Adam Cole could still be out there, obviously. He's trying to stop him, be like, nah, I'm going back in there. I got to do this. So then he goes in there. Doing the whole Adam Cole is going to step in for you when he's got a more fucked up ankle than you have of a leg doesn't make any sense at all.
Well, he wasn't physically there. But the other thing, too, is if you wanted to tell the like pre-match injury angle or whatever, just have the fucking Guns attack him on the ramp when he's coming out. Why not that? Also, if the story you're trying to tell is to build the intrigue for the devil shit, and is trying to...
It's almost like we're complaining because MJF sold the injury too much. Is that accurate? Yeah, right? Yeah, that's what I feel like. He sold it too much to make him seem like he had zero shot, and then ended up coming back and winning against a healthy Jay White. Makes no sense. If you just, like you said, if you got attacked before the match, and it was just like a regular-ass injury, and then he just started works on it the whole match, and you just come back from that, that would have made a lot more sense, yes.
Yeah,
I feel like the whole ambulance thing, coming back, all that shit, acting like you can't even walk, crying at the scrum type deal, like all that stuff. I'm sitting there like, there's no way Jay White shouldn't have been able to beat you one-on-one, especially when Adam Cole did not get involved. Like, doesn't make any sense.
Well, he did give the ring. The spot where
Jay White the ring.
The table
MJF took it off of Jay White.
The spot where the table broke before it was supposed to, and he still ended up doing the goddamn elbow anyway. Jesus Christ. Just an elbow drop straight to the fucking floor.
Yeah, straight to the floor. Yep. That didn't hurt your leg?
Well, no, he said at the scrum that's what was fucking hurting. Was he laying on his hip or whatever, and it was all fucked up.
Yeah, once that adrenaline starts wearing off, no shit.
Yeah. That's a long fall.
All right, so I think I tend to agree with you. I think I'm going to give it an A as well. I think it's an A. I don't think it's the best pay-per-view of the year. I think it's really fucking good. And I mean, that's like, we're splitting hairs, nitpicking at pay-per-views at this point for AEW, right? They're like the top 4 fucking pay-per-views of the year. If we're talking about pay-per-view of the year for the Monster Awards, for the 5th annual Monster Awards this year, like the only ones in the running really are going to be fucking AEW pay-per-views. I mean, Forbidden Door 2 technically is AEW and New Japan, but you get what I'm saying.
Right.
Like it's gonna be AEW, AEW, AEW. Like it's gonna be hard to pick which AEW, but even Wrestle Dream, a lot of people were clowning Wrestle Dream before it started, and it ended up being super fucking good. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
Got
All In,
Out on
obviously,
top
with the
of
biggest
that.
crowd ever. That's up there. Like it's gonna be quite interesting to see how those votes go. But we do need to move on because my throat is killing me. All right. AEW signs Will Ospreay at Full Gear. That's the one thing we didn't talk about as far as Full Gear goes because it wasn't a match. But
yeah, bro.
So the big signing. I'm gonna play a clip from. Thursday. We recorded the predictions and we recorded another clip of who we thought was going to be the new signing. And since I was wrong once with the match rating system, I might as well go ahead and admit I was wrong again, as I decided to call everyone who thought it was going to be Will Ospreay idiots. So watch this video real quick, and then we'll react.
Probably
Let's
Mercedes.
not act like we have to do any kind of real journalism on this show when people are on fucking Twitter talking about Ospreay and Mercedes and don't know anything about their fucking contract situation. Like, whoever says Ospreay, you're an idiot. He already literally said on TV in your face that his contract does not end until after Wrestle Kingdom of next year. That's his last show. Okay. So that's me calling everyone idiots. Anyone who thought it was Ospreay. Clearly I was wrong. I am the idiot. But I would like to say, in my defense, we have never seen anything like that before, where a dude is clearly under contract with another company, comes in and signs another contract right in front of our face, while still being employed by the other company that he said he wasn't leaving until January.
Why'd you take out the part of the clip where I had said that afterward? Because right after that, I was explaining to you, like, yeah, but you don't know that it couldn't be him because you don't know how their contracts are set up or whatever.
Because
right?
the clip isn't about you; it's about me being wrong.
Okay, it can't ever be about me being right. All right, I see.
I mean, you're right. You just said that we don't know what it is. I mean, clearly we didn't know what it was because I was wrong. But so it wasn't Mercedes, it wasn't Ziggler, it was Ospreay. So the question now is to you, now that I can get back on my podcast outline here. The question to you is, the newest signing obviously is Will Ospreay. Will AEW's roster in February of next year, when he officially joins, be the best roster of all time?
You got Danielson, Omega, Ospreay, Pac is still technically there. Ibushi. I mean, it's pretty hard to say that it's not.
Jay White.
You could
MJF.
You could say, yeah, MJF obviously.
Adam
Jay White,
Cole,
yeah.
Samoa Joe, Claudio,
yeah. Moxley. Yeah. I think it's pretty fucking hard to make the case that
Adam
it's
Page,
not.
Swerve.
Yeah.
Like,
there's so many that you start
insane.
forgetting to name them.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. And that's not even counting people that they could use and just aren't right now too, like fucking Keith Lee and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Keith
man.
Lee, Lance Archer, Dalton Castle.
Yeah.
Dudes that could get over huge and can wrestle.
You're still mad about that dude talking about Dalton Castle, huh?
But I don't care if you don't want him in the tournament, but you're not going to sit here and tell me that he's a joke. It would make the tournament a joke. Like, they just put Mark Briscoe in the tournament. Everybody can go fuck themselves. I was right about that. My shit, my fucking guys that I picked in my fantasy booking of that
Mark
shit,
Briscoe in it,
better than what the fuck they currently have up there right now when they put Mark Briscoe in there. Sorry. They literally announced it during the pay-per-view. Mark Briscoe's in the Continental Classic. Therefore, no one needs to tell me shit about Dalton Castle being in mine.
So you want Jeff Jarrett in there, yeah?
I'd rather have Jeff Jarrett in there than Mark Briscoe. Yes.
For real?
Yes. Mark Briscoe is a comedy tag team wrestler, dude. Like, this is not what... If Dalton Castle and Brian Cage and Lance Archer and Scorpio Sky are problems for people because I put them in my fucking fantasy booking of this tournament, but Mark Briscoe's okay, then you really need to self-evaluate your situation because you are incorrect. The guys that I have in my shit are better than Mark Briscoe.
Hold on a second. Mark Briscoe is funny. But he ain't a fucking comedy wrestler.
No,
What do you
he's a
mean?
comedy wrestler. The motherfucker does kung fu chicken fucking spots in every match. He's a comedy wrestler.
Okay. We're gonna have to agree to disagree on that one. When Eddie Kingston does machine gun chops, you think it makes him a comedy wrestler?
I've never laughed at it, so how I can't think it. I don't think it's funny. So no.
Have you
Is it
laughed at
supposed to be
kung
funny?
fu chops?
Yeah, because it's dumb.
Okay. Um. That I don't hate him being in it. It's one of those things too where it's like, well, he's not going to win. They could. I mean, it's pretty clear that the story that they would be trying to tell with it is it's a way for him to get the World Ring of Honor Championship that he couldn't get before. Blah blah blah. I mean, they could sell it, but I don't think he's going to come close to winning this block or anything.
And no shit, he's not gonna come close to winning the block. He fucking better not. He better not even in the final four. I think he gets 3 points the entire thing. I think he gets one win on somebody.
I'd have to see who else they put.
I don't like that either. I don't like that we don't know why didn't they announce everybody at this fucking pay-per-view who was going to be in it? But this shit starts Wednesday, does it not?
They still might not know.
That's shut up, man. That's
no, I'm serious. They probably know who's going to win, and then he's probably still like, look, like who the fuck? Which one of you guys wants to wrestle like basically every week for the next fucking month and a half?
Know you're not going to win. Yeah, right. That's a hard sell.
Especially when it's like you have to have really good competitive matches.
This is better. This is better than the 2008 SmackDown roster. Then, is what you're telling me?
Yeah. Even though it was stacked.
Oh, by the way, Sting will technically be still on the roster at the beginning of February as well because Revolution doesn't happen until later. So Sting is still on there too.
And
so
Copeland.
Sting, Jericho as well. Copeland, yes. Like
Christian.
This shit's insane, dude. Their roster is insane. We didn't even get to like Powerhouse Hobbs and Sammy
Ryan
Guevara.
Nemeth.
Fucking nuts. Fucking nuts.
I imagine they'll have the full blocks and everything by Wednesday. They have to, right? Unless they say that they're only going to announce one block and then they'll announce the next one fucking Friday or Saturday or something. But
it's 12 people and we've only got like 4 people in it right now. That's a lot of people you got to fucking announce.
Yeah.
It's Danielson, Eddie Kingston, Mark Briscoe, and
Andrade,
yeah. Oh yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
I assume Miro will be in it, like I said, though, because Andrade's in it now.
Yeah, probably.
But yeah, dude, I have no idea how you don't say that this is the best roster of all time from top to bottom, especially male roster.
Yeah, we didn't even talk about any of the women on there because you got a lot of really good
tag teams either. We didn't talk about tag. Like, I mean, we didn't even bring up Malachi.
Right.
Like Malachi's definitely up there too. Like, it's insane how good this roster is, dude. All right, let's move on. Becky Lynch accepts the.
Well, hold on, one other thing. Do you think in like 18 years people will be posting like gifs of the AEW roster and be like, the AEW roster in 2023 was stacked?
Yeah. I think you could do that about the NWA roster from pre-pandemic too. Right now, based off who they had and how they look right now, like the NWA roster was stacked.
Fucking Ricky Starks and
Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston, Thunder Rosa, Molina,
LA Knight was on there then too, wasn't he?
Nick Aldis, LA Knight, yes, Eli Drake, whatever. James Storm, Ken Anderson, Damian Sandow were all on that roster. Fucking insane, dude. And now they have a few of them left, but it's few and far between, and like everybody's gone. Most of them are in AEW. So yeah, that's insane. But yeah, so Becky Lynch accepts the 4th spot on the Women's War Games team, which doesn't make a shit ton of sense. Because she's on a different brand. But I don't know why we even keep mentioning this because clearly they don't give a fuck about the different brands. So it's Bianca wanted Charlotte to make a call to someone, but no one knew who the fuck she was talking about. I initially thought she was talking about Jade. Yeah. Because Charlotte was staring down Jade was staring down Charlotte in a backstage segment, which like she's done with everybody, obviously, but I thought that's who she was going. Like that would have been cool as fuck to me. I don't know if Jade is the person you want her first match to be a War Games match, but that would have been fucking cool to me. But they went with the Becky thing because Becky and Charlotte have a history. Then of course they had the last segment that they had together was not great And then they came out online and basically said they weren't friends anymore, like for real, shoot. So
Yeah.
it was surprising, I'll give you that, but it doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But what do you think about Becky being the fourth member for this team? And do you think it even matters? Because I have the question set up like this. So she's the fourth partner, the mystery fourth partner at War Games for Charlotte, Bianca, and Shotzi against Damage Control. One, do you like the move? Which is basically what I've been asking. And do we think that the move is fucking pointless anyway because Dakota will turn on Bayley like she did Tegan Knox at their NXT War Games match?
I don't think she's going to turn in this match, but I mean, the story that they're telling is clearly about the split, so you can't have them be successful and still split, right? So I mean, there's got to be some kind of friction, fuck up, whatever. That's
yeah. So yeah, I get that, but there's no way Bayley's taking the pin, though, right?
It might not be that. It could be like a miscommunication where Bayley hits a finisher on somebody else incorrectly or something.
Yeah, maybe. I can see that happening. Yeah, I mean, technically, I guess based off your options, you have Io, Kyrie, and Asuka. Mm-hmm. So I guess Bayley would be the one to take the pin, which it seems crazy when you have Shotzi on the other team. The heel should be winning this. The heel should be winning this.
I like Shotzi.
Yeah, same.
I think, but somebody posted it was supposed to be like a highlight video, and they were like, oh, if WWE would just like let Shotzi do what she's able to do or whatever, then she'd be crazy. And like the highlights were not like good. Like
well, it was like her almost killing herself every fucking time she wrestles.
Yeah, it was. She looked some of the top rope stuff. I was just like, damn girl, like you gotta tighten that shit up, because it looked like she was gonna hurt herself. And some of the stuff, like some of the apron spots she does, and like not topes or anything, but like moves onto or over the apron.
Yeah, the DDT spot.
Yeah, and I'm just like, oof, like fuck.
Dude. Well, let's say in her defense, Ronda Rousey definitely took that one incorrectly on the one that she did to her.
No, I'm not even talking about that one. I know that was Rousey's fault, but yeah, no, I'm more worried about like her hurting herself than somebody else.
But she can be hurting everybody in this War Games match. You better give her free reigns in 2 cages and all kinds of weapons and shit. Like it's about to get real up in here.
Yeah,
and the funny thing is that everybody else that's in the match cannot afford. WWE cannot afford for them to have any major injuries. It's literally Shotzi versus legends.
Well, there's one person that could get injured. Nobody really care that much.
Oh man, are you talking about Charlotte? Because I slap the shit out of you. I'll slap the shit out of you right now. I'm so sick of this Charlotte slander, dude. It is not her fault that WWE is booking her to fucking win 16 goddamn times, dude. It's not her fault, dude. She's not booking it.
I'm not saying I want her to get hurt. What I'm saying is if she got hurt, it wouldn't really hurt anything because it's not like they do anything with her.
Yeah, not unless she's winning the title.
Right.
I mean, she's doing something here. I think she should get some color like her dad in this match, dude. Right out the gate. She got the blonde hair just like her dad does. Put her face against the cage and fucking make her bleed, dude. Like, let's fucking go. Old school War Games.
I mean, Asuka will do that shit. Yeah. I mean, I don't mind Becky being added. I do think Jade would have made more sense with the Bianca part of it, maybe, to have her like call in somebody that nobody would expect or whatever, and like you could set up some shit where they've been like working out together or whatever the fuck you want to do with them, like to set them up as like a mini stable or tag team or something. But or like I mean, there's a lot of stuff you could have done, but it is weird that they paid all that money for Jade and she hasn't even fucking wrestled on television anywhere yet, right? That's strange. Like, what are we doing there?
I don't even think they still know what they're going to do with her, which sucks because you presented her so well, and now she's lost pretty much all the steam that she had.
Yeah.
NXT, backstage at Raw, backstage at SmackDown, backstage at the fucking pay-per-view. You've had her everywhere, and you're telling me you can't decide where the hell you're going to put her at?
Yeah.
I don't know. All right, let's talk about. We mentioned her a little bit already. Ronda Rousey, she's back, debuts in Ring of Honor. Now, here's the question for this one. One, what do you think of the move based off of how people feel about Ronda Rousey? Not even just as a wrestler, but as a person because of the crazy shit she said online before in the past. But not only do you think of what do you think of the move? We already know the terms of that current situation based off of what TK said in the scrum. But do you think that TK should sign her for a Ring of Honor, even if it's a short-term deal moving forward, if like obviously Rousey wants to do it? Because like we were talking about when we were texting back and forth, I said, damn, TK is doing anything he can to try to get Ring of Honor a TV deal. And I think this would actually help big time, even if it was a short-term deal.
Yeah.
As far as like her personal shit, there's a bar that I have with that where like you can have some stupid fucking, you could say some stupid shit, you could believe in some stupid conspiracy shit, and I'll normally be able to separate it a little bit from the worker. Like Trent occasionally will like some pretty questionable shit on Twitter or whatever, but he doesn't, it's not like he's going out of his way to fucking talk about it or say dumb shit or whatever. So I just don't think about it. It is what it is. It is whatever. But Rousey was so vocal with a lot of hers and said so much stupid shit that I think it's harder for people to look past in that same way. I think if you try to bring her into an AEW or you try to keep her around super long term in ROH, I mean, she's always going to have that mixed reaction. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Like, you can have people with mixed reactions their whole career. The problem is why she's getting a mixed reaction. Part of it's her personal stuff, and part of it is that people just don't like her fucking attitude towards wrestling in general. And it is kind of funny that now she's going back and doing the she's like trying to pretend that she's doing the earning her way up, like paying your dues shit by doing like 2 indie shows and then ROH and then maybe like 2 more ROH shows and right up to AEW.
Dude. Based off of what we've seen Ronda Rousey do in her life, getting dropped on your head by a 19-year-old indie wrestler is kind of paying your dues if you're in Ronda Rousey's position. That's pretty much all you're gonna get. Like, that's the ceiling of that. Like what else do people want exactly? Fucking Wrestle Revolver, for fuck's sakes.
I want her to get paid in a hot dog and a handshake a few times, and
those are the indie promotions you don't want to work for. Those are the ones we stay away from.
She has to put over Emi Sakura, and then I'll let her.
If she puts over Emi Sakura, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to put her over. Fuck, Jesus Christ. The most she got put over was the chop that she put on Tony Storm's chest, and they mentioned it on fucking Full Gear. Like, that's the most she's been put over in a while. Like, come on, dude.
Sakura. Yeah. Yeah, you bring her in, have Emi Sakura beat her, and then I have no problem with her being there.
You know,
otherwise,
you have Emi Sakura beat Tony Storm, and then not only does Emi Sakura get the title, but she gets Luther too to be her servant because she's the queen.
Yeah.
Take everything away from Tony.
Where the fuck is Yuka at? I miss her.
I'm pretty sure she's still in Japan. Like, I want to say TJPW, but yes, I'm pretty sure she's still over there. I thought she was coming back soon too. I feel like they fucking said she was coming back. And maybe she came back for like 1 or 2 appearances and then bounced again.
I thought they said Rio was coming back a little bit more permanent or for more American matches.
I don't know what's going on, man.
Yeah,
could be a visa thing. I don't know.
Maybe. But yeah, no. I mean, it's the Rousey thing it's not going to make me watch anymore. But
you already have it anyway. So, but do you think like a casual person? I mean, clearly she has fans in WWE.
Oh, you mean like, do I think people are going to watch ROH?
Yeah. Like, you already have the subscription, so clearly it's not going to make you go out of your way to get it. But maybe like a WWE casual that was a really diehard Ronda Rousey fan even before or later on. They do exist. Let's not act like they don't exist.
Well, when you get 6 of them people to sign up
for them to get the subscription service? Like, you think this is a ploy to get some more subs?
I think it's a ploy to get more attention on the product. I don't know that it's...
But not subs unless she gets signed to some kind of deal, though, right?
Yeah, probably. Unless you announce her ahead of time on stuff.
I'm okay with it. As I've said before, I have 0 issue with Ronda Rousey as far as when she's on the screen. And when she's on the Twitters, that's a different thing. But when she's on the screen, I'm cool with it.
There's definitely some people that I can separate that stuff for. Like, if they didn't like fucking sexually assault anybody.
Well, I think it helps me more because I don't see that shit pop up on my shit either. Like, there's certain people, every time they say something stupid, somehow it comes across my fucking timeline. Hers doesn't. Like, she's not doubling, tripling down on shit like, you know, Flip Gordon or fucking TJP or some shit like that. Like, I can't, like, I'm done with that stuff. I will never watch a show if it has Flip Gordon on it. I'm just letting y'all know right now.
Did you see that picture he posted where he's got the 3 hats acting like he was about to fucking choose between 3? Motherfuckers, nobody's trying to sign you.
Choose what school he was going to, like it was fucking college.
Nobody's trying to sign you,
high
Flip.
school,
I haven't thought about Flip Gordon since that fucking, like, before that picture.
The All-In pay-per-view? The All-In #1 where he won the Rumble and then lost for the title or whatever? For the Ring of Honor title or whatever the fuck it was.
When I first saw that picture, I thought it was fucking Austin Theory for a second. And I was like, oh no, Oh yeah, fucking Flip Gordon. That's right. And then I remembered. Oh no, he's a fucking idiot. Um, the funniest thing
He
somebody
said
said.
Fred Rosser, and she said who? Said primetime player. She said who?
Oh.
I said, I said, she said, oh yeah, I know. And I said, the other guy.
God
That
damn,
shit is the best
that's a
promo, dude.
brutal fucking promo.
Dude, it is one of the top
Jesus.
S tier promos of all time. I love that. Every time it pops up on my timeline, I have to watch the whole thing again. It's so fucking good.
Buried that
So
fucking
good. She said, who?
I replied that to somebody when they were
It's
talking about a
so
Fred Rosser
good,
match.
dude.
She said, who? God damn, dude.
So good. All right, we got to move it
Why
on. We
did that
got
even
one
come
more.
up? We weren't even talking about him.
Because you said nobody knows who somebody is.
Oh, Flip Gordon?
Yeah, Flip Gordon. Like, yeah, the last time you said that. Yeah. The guy in the very first All In. She said, "Who?" The guy that was in the Casino Battle Royal, and she said, "Who?" The guy that was the Joker, and she said, "Who?" Like, oh, the guy that lost the Ring of Honor title. Oh, him. And I say, yeah, that fucking idiot.
Or the guy that I forget who it was, but
Yeah, I
somebody
forgot who the Ring of Honor champion was at the time, but he ended up losing to him.
Somebody
Wasn't
on
it the Ring of
Twitter
Honor championship that he won the Battle Royal to get a shot, I believe, the Ring of Honor World Championship, if I'm not mistaken. And he ended up losing. I think that's how it went.
The way that I remember him the most is that I think it was David Finlay. So Flip had posted some fucking idiotic thing on Twitter again, and David Finlay retweeted him and said, "You are the dumbest person I know, and I know Ospreay."
Oh, that's who he was talking to when he said that? I do know that tweet, but
God damn. What's Ospreay catching the spray? Straight.
Yeah, Flip Gordon. And then Flip Gordon.
Where's my camera out?
Lost to Jay Lethal later. That's me. My bad. That's my bad. Jay Lethal was the champion, and he got the shot against Jay Lethal later, and then he lost to Jay Lethal. You're good. That's what it was. I knew that's what it was. I just couldn't remember who the fuck the champion was during that show.
Jay Lethal. Rey Mysterio. I remember Rey Mysterio.
All right, let's go. We're going to move over to our final topic. I have no extra stuff today because I knew the full gear review was going to be a long one. Backlash France. It's official. First ever PLE was announced for France. Backlash, obviously the pay-per-view after WrestleMania. This is a big deal. Like I said before, when the rumors were going around about this, is that I think a lot of this has to do with TKO and Endeavor the merging of that, and they want to do a similar model that Dana White wants to do, where he goes all around the world because the gates are fucking huge. And not only are the gates huge, but you also get paid by countries and companies to have your shit there. So why wouldn't you go to more obvious international stuff? Who gives a fuck what time the U.S. people have to wake up? We've gotten fucking 40 years of pay-per-views at the same time. We're fine. If they can't watch it at 2:30 a.m., then that's on them, bro. Everybody got the Peacock thing. It's gonna be up there when you get up. Turn your phone off like I did for Full Gear when I was at the hockey game, so you don't get any fucking spoilers if you don't want spoilers. Like, people need to start taking some responsibility around here. Talking about something. Oh, I wish you didn't post that. Now it got ruined for me. Who get the fuck off of social media then while it's going on? What do you think it's for?
I think okay, so the Endeavor thing rings true to me that it probably opened up some more contacts for WWE through TKO that they didn't have before, or through Endeavor or whatever. But the thing that stands out to me is that when we're talking about UFC doing those international events, they're not moving nearly as much stuff. They don't have pyro. They don't have the whole fucking stage set. They don't have like proper ramps and all that shit. It's literally just the octagon and the cage set up around.
No, I 100% agree with that. But I'm tired of hearing a billion-dollar industry tell me it's logistics and all this other bullshit when you've done it in the past. And just minimize your set then if that's the case. So you don't have to bring over as much shit. Like, there's no reason for you not to have those shows over there when the positives outweigh the negatives, though. That doesn't make any sense. Like, all we heard for years was when somebody asked, hey, is London ever going to get a pay-per-view, etc. Oh, yeah, we wish we could, but the logistics just doesn't match. Oh, wow, you're making more money than ever. Fucking go over there. Get more money. That's new money. Like, it's never made sense to me. Like, you need to be going over to these places because it'll be hot as fuck over there, and it makes your mediocre product look better on TV because these motherfuckers are loud as shit because they have been craving for that. to be over there in their
We
countries.
get some big fucking Corbin wins over in France, and I'll be happy. They got to put him in a match, and it's got to be one he can win because they love him over there for some reason. I hope they put him in something big. Yeah, I mean it's cool that they're doing international. I think also aside from the Endeavor thing, I think they saw All In, and we're like, oh, okay, well, there's a bigger market for this than we thought. If our competitor brand, challenger brand,
Well,
whatever.
in their defense, they did do Clash
Wembley.
at the Castle before All In happened. So
yeah, but they ran a smaller stadium than I think they could have.
that's
Cardiff.
probably true.
So I think maybe they were worried they couldn't run something
They're not
bigger.
as good at gauging the interest from the fans as TK was. Because TK was very confident that he was going to sell that place out.
And he almost did. So yeah.
It's fucking awesome to me though. I'm very happy for all the overseas fans that are going to get fucking legit PLEs and not fucking live tours where nothing happens and shit. Like, yeah, live tours are cool because they have cool moments and stuff. And, you know, oh, I get to take a picture with Corbin. He doesn't ever do that on TV because he's an asshole on TV, you know, shit like that. Like, that's cool. You get those moments, those house show moments. But to get a PLE where something legitimately that matters in canon on TV can happen in your country is way bigger, way more motivating to go out of your way and get tickets for and show up and be loud as fuck.
I don't know. I guess different people go for different reasons. Some people go to watch the matches. Some people go to interact with the wrestlers. So if you get a better chance of doing that at a house show, they might be more inclined to go to a house show. But yeah, I don't know. I haven't been to a fucking house show in a long ass time. I keep meaning to go to DPW one of these fucking days, and I just never get around to it because obviously they run here. But yeah,
they usually have some good talent every now and then coming through there too.
Yeah, and it's only a couple hours away. I really should be going.
We had there's a really rinky-dink indie promotion around here somewhere that was actually sponsoring the hockey game. One of the sponsors for the hockey game, when both the times that the fight broke out, they put the promotion up on the thing. It was pretty cool. I was like, okay, that makes sense. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like they already don't take advantage of enough U.S. markets too, though. I feel like there's places they don't really run that much, and they probably could get like a decent
They
amount
could probably
of people.
get decent crowds, but is it going to be as loud as an international crowd? I don't think it'll be close.
Yeah, maybe.
WWE's always had a problem with running West Coast anyway. The general West Coast, they don't almost ever run that unless it's SummerSlam.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? Just logistics too? Coming all the way from New York headquarters, Connecticut, whatever.
Well, now it's Florida pretty much, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's asinine. Yeah, you have Tony Khan literally sit there and I believe, I want to say it was Jericho who said it too. LA has some of the best wrestling fans when we go here for AEW, and like, well, why do you only go once a year then? And you go to Chicago 8 times a year, 9 times a year. Like, come on, man, go.
I'll say this: the Kia Forum looks like shit on TV. The way that they have
saying that, but it was just as loud as any other pay-per-view, so I don't have a problem with it.
I don't mean the sound. Sound was fine.
No, I understand what you mean because of the wall, the way it's set up, the hard cam is set up. Yes, I understand what you're saying, but it didn't take away from me. The coolest moment in the entire show for me was when the crowd got ECW style fucking loud when Hangman Adam Page spit up fucking Swerve's blood and went to the corner and they went fucking nuts, dude. That was ECW like crowd noise for that spot, for that match altogether. So it didn't really take anything out for me, but I understand what you're saying. Optics wise, I get it, but I could say the same thing about the Royal Rumbles being ran at the fucking Garden or whatever, where you're literally looking at the fucking little mini door back there the whole time. And I'm like, that doesn't look great either, but it didn't really take away anything for me. The crowd is still asininely, like, super fucking loud.
I got it covered up with the drawing of people, like in the flat 2D like they do in fucking video games.
That would be fucking hilarious, dude. That would be funny. I'd be cool with that. You got pipe and noise for those guys too, though. Meaty file noises.
Boo.
Yeah, dude, like the old Super Nintendo. Every time somebody hits somebody,
Now, to be fair on the crowd popping on that blood spot, I will very rarely. Sometimes I'll say "oh fuck" or like "god damn" or whatever out loud at home when I see somebody do some shit. I tell you, I fucking stood up when Hangman was drinking that fucking blood and then stood up and spit that shit, I was like, oh, I stood up. It's like, God damn, dude.
When they showed the angle where you could literally see it pouring into his mouth.
Yeah.
And how much was pouring into his mouth, and then how much blood went into the air.
I didn't know what he was gonna. I thought he was gonna spit it back in his face, but it ended up being cooler doing it the way they did it.
It was nuts, fucking nuts, dude. And I'm not trying to sound racist or anything here, because it's really hard for when African American wrestlers bleed. It's hard to see.
Oh yeah, his blood is so bright,
dude. He was bleeding so much.
Yeah. And it was so fucking bright.
Yeah, the lights, there was so much, and it was so bright. The lights were bouncing off the blood off his fucking face at one point. Like, that's how much he had on him.
You know what they did a good job with the camera was, and I mean, Swerve did a good job with this. When he would get the staple in him, he would specifically turn back and forth to make sure the light caught it the way that you could tell that he was doing it. To do that, like, and it would fucking shine and flash every time. He did a really good job of
that. I think all doubts of it being real or not into his body was over as soon as he got the one in his cheek. So the first cheek one, I don't think that both cheek ones were supposed to happen. I think the first cheek one happened, and then that fucking paper didn't stay up. So then he did it again on the other side, and then that's when he fucking did the actual spot that he was supposed to do. So I think Swerve might have got an extra cheek staple for no reason.
He's CZW alumni. He'll be all
right. Not everybody in CZW just does fucking death matches, just so you know.
He did do death matches, though.
He also did dance matches with Will Ospreay, so
yeah,
let's not act like he's a hardcore deathmatch wrestler out of nowhere.
I mean, I didn't say the man's fucking
Nick Gage.
Yeah. So, oh man, that's like I said, that's one I already watched back once because I just thought it was So I finished the pay-per-view. I listened to the scrum, and then I slept for a little bit. And then I was like, you know what? I don't remember if I just remember that match being really good because I was just like excited to see the show, or if it was like really fucking good. But I see everybody talking about it. I'm gonna go watch it back. That match was really fucking good. But then I think that's where it clicked for me. I wasn't really into the Brian Cage interference though too. So
I was 5.5 for me. It's insane. Fucking insane. I kind of want to go to only want to do 5.25 because in case they wrestle again, I'm fucked, right? If they do even better than that. But I don't know how you top that, honestly. I just don't know how you do it.
I think you should write a tweet apologizing to Dave Meltzer and then explain why. There you go.
Nah, I'm good. I'm good like that.
All right.
I don't give a shit about Dave Meltzer's opinions.
You weren't talking shit about his system, though.
Yeah, we did talk shit about the system. So
why are you apologizing to me but not Dave? It's Dave's system.
I apologize to you because I was acting like you didn't know. Well, I didn't act like you didn't know what you're talking about, but I acted like that wasn't a legitimate reason to give people higher stars than 5s. But Dave Meltzer also doesn't do it 1-to-1 like I say I'm going to do it now because that makes more sense to me to do it 1-to-1.
Okay.
So if they have a fucking Hangman Swerve 3 and it ends up being even better, I guess I'm gonna have to go 5.75 or 5 or 6 even. Like
Dave Meltzer's also watched more wrestling than both of us combined times fucking 5.
He can watch as much wrestling as he wants, but not doing a 1-to-1 comparison doesn't make any sense to me when you're doing that kind of shit. At least in my opinion.
Encyclopedia brain.
I understand the shit you were saying now more, but only because of this instance when it was literally me comparing the same match to the same match or same guys.
Well, okay, but think about that with Omega and Okada. I mean, obviously, you would probably say that the 2 out of 3 falls match at Dominion was probably better than one of the other ones, but it's not like you would give them the other ones less than 5.
That's what I'm saying. Right? Like, I would change that now, is what I'm saying to you. Because
it's weird that you wouldn't have done that before. That's what I'm saying.
It's whatever, dude. I admitted I was wrong. Get the fuck off my nuts about it.
I'm not trying to rub it in. I'm just asking about if that's your logic. Is that it's the same one? I mean,
like for instance, it's not better, so I guess I can't really. I guess I could say okay. So the Hell in a Cell match between Shawn Michaels and Undertaker, the first ever one, which was insane. I'd probably give that a 5. So the next time they fight, that was a really good fucking match, was WrestleMania. I'm probably giving that over a 5 based off this new criteria that I'm doing, if that makes sense. I like their first WrestleMania match better than the second one. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I think their first one is actually better than the career match. So I'd probably give that a 5.5 or a 5.25, depending on. I'd have to go back and watch it, but that match was insane. So So
I think
it had to be 1-1. I mean, the match types and shit can be different and play a different match, but if it's the same people and it's the same, this is literally a one-on-one match and it's the exact same two people, then if it's better than a match that I previously just gave a 5, then it has to be over a 5. So I agree with that part of it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's gonna do it for the show because I gotta stop talking. Right. I appreciate everybody coming through. I'm now dropping a lot of frames, so it's probably gonna cut off again on me. I'll see you guys next week. Deuces.